Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. Typhoon Mawar is impacting Guam this morning as it does make landfall, and we'll give you updates on that in today's video, followed by multiple storm chances with heavy rain and severe weather across the plain states throughout this week, and then a major early season heat wave bringing record high temperatures possible across the country as we go into next week. We'll get into those details later on in today's video. But first up is Typhoon Mawar, as it is impacting Guam very significantly this morning across the western Pacific Ocean, and this is bringing lots of very strong winds, some very torrential rains, and also some tropical impacts with the wave heights out there as well. So definitely our thoughts and prayers are with the folks over here in Guam in the western Pacific Ocean as of this morning. And the track with this system brings it over Guam and into the western Pacific Ocean, and then turns it more northeast towards the eastern side of Japan as we go through the next several days. So we definitely will be keeping an eye on this powerful system as it makes its trek there towards Guam and then in towards the Japan region, just east of Japan, getting through the next several days. But closer to home, it was a very busy day from yesterday into this morning. We had a lot of severe weather reports, including 3 tornadoes reported in towards portions there of West Texas, 21 wind reports, 32 hail reports, for a total of 56 severe weather reports going back to Tuesday, May 23rd. And as we go into today, this same setup is evident as we have a subtropical jet off the eastern Pacific Ocean moving down here towards the southern plains and Mexico. And we have several troughs and disturbances moving into the jet stream across the western 2/3 of the country and interacting with some of that moist and warm air. And therefore, we have another slight risk for severe storms down here into southeastern Colorado and northeastern New Mexico, the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles as we head into the afternoon today. Also a marginal risk across the Pacific Northwest here from Montana down through northwestern Wyoming, Idaho, and getting down into Nevada and northern Utah, and another marginal risk down into south central Florida. So a busy go of it as we go through the day today, but the most concerning area for severe weather will be down here across southeastern Colorado, northeastern New Mexico, the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, as we do have that 2% shading for tornadoes in those areas. So timing this out, the noon time frame, very quiet as it has been the last couple of mornings into the early afternoon. Not much to worry about, but as we get to peak daytime heating after 3 o'clock, getting toward the 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time frame, we'll start to see thunderstorms blow up off the front range of the Rockies across southeastern Colorado, getting into eastern portions of New Mexico, and then those storms will propagate across the Amarillo area, Lubbock, Midland, Texas, getting through the Oklahoma panhandle, and into southwestern Kansas, getting through the evening hours and toward the midnight time frame on your Thursday morning. These storms will be capable of producing damaging winds 60 plus miles per hour, large hail quarter size or larger, and also the threat for a couple of tornadoes is not out of the realm of possibility with these storms through the evening. And then these will continue to push further off to the east across portions of the Red River here, but they will struggle to reach the North Texas vicinity as we get towards 6 a.m. on your Thursday morning, as they'll be running out of energy going towards that sunrise time frame. And even as we go into Thursday, the same areas will be impacted by more low-end severe weather. Again, a marginal risk that's a level 1 out of 5 on the scale. This covers eastern Colorado, southwestern Kansas, eastern New Mexico, and parts of the Oklahoma, Texas panhandle, and down into far west Texas going into Thursday. And largely the western high plains will be the prime area for severe weather going into Friday, May 26th as well, with another marginal risk, this time extending from Montana down through portions of eastern Colorado and west Texas, getting through the end of this week. So Thursday evening, watch out here if you live in the western high plains. Could be dealing with some scattered severe weather with damaging winds over 60 miles miles per hour, quarter size or larger hailstones, possibly a tornado setup again on Thursday evening, and then we'll play that all over again in the very same areas, copy and paste that over to Friday evening as we get into peak daytime heating with supercells. Not everybody will see storms, but if you get under one of these storms, they could turn severe very quickly. So definitely keep an eye on the radar, and it's good to also have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings, whether it's a NOAA weather radio, your laptop, your smartphone, anything to help definitely is much appreciated. And I know that you guys want to be safe out there, so definitely have multiple ways to get watches and warnings. But looking ahead to the rainfall prospects, we definitely need the rainfall across the central and southern plains, and we will get it in a big way from today all the way through Saturday morning on May 27th. We definitely have 1 to 2, even 3 inches of rain expected across portions there of southwestern Nebraska, getting into western Kansas, down into western Oklahoma and Texas as well. And that will be the heaviest hit area for rainfall over the next several days. Will be from the Amarillo area down to Lubbock, and then south and eastbound there towards the Abilene, Texas region, with widespread 1 to 3 inches of rain. Localized higher amounts, though, are possible going through that Saturday morning time frame. And it's great news knowing the fact that we have a drought, a significant drought across Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Texas. We're going to be chipping away at this ever so slightly going into early June here, especially with lots of setups for heavy rainfall moving forward. Well, if you like today's content, definitely press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. It definitely helps out more than you know, so I appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to press the subscribe button down below. It's free to press the subscribe button. You don't have to pay anything. And you get these detailed weather breakdowns each morning at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time across southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics. So definitely appreciate all the new subscribers out there as well. But as we go through today, we have a backdoor cold front moving in a little bit more of an unconventional manner going through today. This cold front's going to be pushing out of southeastern Canada across the Great Lakes and southwestward into the Midwest. And this will actually arrive across the Missouri Valley as we go into Thursday and even on your Friday, May 26th time frame. So as it does so, we are going to be cooling off. So if you live in Ontario, Quebec, parts of New England there in the upper Great Lakes today, we will be seeing temperatures back into the 40s and 50s for highs, where the heat will be building across the Midwest, especially the lower Midwest and the Ohio Valley here, with 70s and 80s out there today. And this will continue down into the southern plains as well. As this cold front continues to back down southwestward into the Missouri Valley, we'll start to see drier air and some cooler weather. The lakeshore there of Chicago up toward Milwaukee and Green Bay will likely see highs in the 50s and 60s going into your Thursday afternoon. Widespread 50s across southeastern Canada and New England as well on Thursday. We'll start to moderate some of the temperatures on Friday as we turn those winds back around from the south to the north here across the Great Plains and into the Midwestern regions on Friday. And speaking of the heat, as we go into this weekend, this is a holiday weekend, Memorial Day coming up, and I know a lot of people have plans outdoors, lots of grilling out, barbecuing and stuff like that. We will be seeing a heat wave starting to emerge going towards Saturday, May 27th, with an upper level ridge with these red shaded anomalies across southeastern Canada and the Great Lakes. Troughing underneath that will remain unsettled with cooler temperatures in the blue shaded anomalies across the southeast, getting in towards Florida there. That largely continues straight through Memorial Day itself on Monday, May 29th, and that likely even continues into the middle of next week, a week from today on Wednesday, May 31st. So what does this mean for our temperatures? Well, as we go into Saturday, May 27th, we will still see more of a transition day with winds more out of the south and southwest here, and we're going to see temperatures in the 80s. Just more typical weather that you see for late portions of May. But look at the heat really start to build on Monday, Memorial Day itself on May 29th. Widespread mid, upper 80s, low 90s even down here into the lower Mississippi Valley. Places like East Texas, southern Arkansas, Louisiana, and parts of southwestern Mississippi will see those 90s on Memorial Day. And then look at the 90s really starting to spread across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, parts of the Mid-Atlantic, and really the Deep South as well. Going into Wednesday, we could be in the middle 90s 90s as far north as Chicago, portions there of the Des Moines region, getting down there towards portions of Little Rock and the Shreveport area. So a widespread area by next Wednesday, a week from today, to round out May for those 90s spreading further to the north as well. And that likely does take us into the first few days of June with those widespread 90s as well, with the building heat wave going through that Friday, June 2nd time frame. So that is not good news because it is drying out across the upper Midwest and New England. So that means we'll have to water our plants a lot more across those regions, and the grass might be starting to get a little bit crunchy as well, getting into the last few days of May and into early June up here. And it's going to be active, though, underneath that. Across the central Rockies, getting down to the southern plains and the Gulf Coast regions will likely be well above average with our precipitation through Friday, June 2nd. And I am a little bit concerned, and so is the Climate Prediction Center, for a rapid onset drought across portions of central Illinois, central Indiana down here into southern Ohio. So if you live in Peoria, Illinois, the Champaign-Urbana region where the University of Illinois is, Indianapolis, getting in toward the Chillicothe region there into southwestern Ohio, I am a little bit concerned for a rapid drought development across that region going all the way through the June 6th time frame, whereas heavy precipitation can be expected across especially the Texas Panhandle into western Oklahoma through the early stages there of June, and that likely even with some flooding across the Pacific Northwest and getting down into the Rockies in this hatched area up across those regions through the June 6th time frame. So looking at storm chances going through the Saturday time frame on May 27th, scattered storms, not everybody will see them. They will extend from southern Canada here to Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba, down through the Dakotas, Nebraska, getting all the way south into West Texas on Saturday. Much of the same areas will be affected on Sunday. Not everybody will see these storms, just an hour or two per day for some storm chances. Again, same areas, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, the Dakotas, all the way south to Texas. And then on Monday, Memorial Day, the good news here is that the model has definitely backed off on more of the widespread precipitation, and we're seeing more dry time going into Memorial Day itself. So maybe a storm here, a storm there, a storm here, but other than that, we're really not seeing too much of the way of widespread rainfall through the day on Memorial Day. So definitely some great news there, but we will be needing some rain still with the drought across the central and southern plains, and we will be getting it as well through the Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday itself. We'll be seeing some decent rains. If you get under one of these storms, could be efficient rainfall producers. Rainfall amounts over an inch, definitely a possibility there from southern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba, down through the central Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas, getting down into western Oklahoma and West Texas, and a little bit of a tropical feature over here into the Carolinas and Georgia. Definitely seeing some heavy rainfall in places like Myrtle Beach, down into Charleston, the Columbia, South Carolina region, Raleigh, North Carolina, and maybe as far west as Atlanta, Georgia, getting through this upcoming weekend with multiple inches of rain, some areas over 3 inches, especially near the eastern side of the Carolinas there as we go through this upcoming weekend. But beyond there, going through June 6th, like I said, it will be dry, crunchy grass, and a lot of watering of the plants up here across the Great Lakes and portions of the New England region, with the active weather and the more wetter conditions across the central Rockies, southern plains, and the Gulf Coast going right straight through the first week there into June. And looking at the severe weather forecast, June 1st through the 7th, I do think it's possible if you live across the majority of the Great Plains from South Dakota all the way south toward the Houston region there into southeast Texas. Do watch out for scattered severe weather events during that first week there into June. And then as we turn into the second week in June, we have more troughs coming in off the west coast, which means more unsettled weather and cooler temperatures, relatively speaking, across the southwest, the central Rockies, and the Great Plains regions, where the heat will finally be building up into the northeast. I know we've been a lot cooler lately. We will be seeing our fair share of heat getting into the second week into June there through June 13th, but it will be drying out across that region. So you do see the heat, but it also will not come with any relief. We'll see a lot of dry weather in the upper Midwest, the Great Great Lakes in the Northeast as we go through June 6th and June 13th timeframe, with the active weather again parked over the Rockies, the Pacific Northwest, and the Southern Plains during that period. And you do see that the total accumulated precipitation just during that second weekend of June, June 6th through the 13th, while we still could have some rain up here into southern Canada and the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes region, it won't be very much. So I definitely am concerned about that a little bit. But other than that, the very heavy rain, the flooding concerns, and severe weather will be down across the Rockies, the central and southern plains, and into the Tennessee Valley at times as we get into the second week into June. And looking at the instability here this far out, again, the trends. Don't focus on the number of the instability down below on the chart here. Just focus on the trends of where this is placed. And again, the central, southern plains, and eastward to the Tennessee Valley is likely the area to see more higher potential instability building through that second week into June, and therefore my severe weather forecast from June 6th through the 13th time frame has severe weather possible in this yellow outlined area from Wyoming through the Denver region into central Colorado, down through the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex again, Memphis, getting into where Jackson, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, maybe as far east as St. Louis, but it's much more likely across portions there of southern Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, down through much of Kansas here, southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas there, and also central and northeastern Oklahoma during that period, with several events possible. And I do think tornadoes will probably be a concern yet again going into the second week into June. Well, if you want additional weather forecast updates in addition to this video and this channel, press the description down below and follow me on Twitter at hweather420. I post on there very frequently throughout the week, so I definitely appreciate that. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching each and every morning, everyone. It is much appreciated, all the support. Thank you so much every single morning and every day. If you like today's video, press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Have a great Wednesday, everybody, a great rest of the week, and I will see you all in the next video.